All right, we're going to go ahead and get started this morning. Very cool day. Thank you for being here. And I'm going to start things off by kicking it right over to our mayor, Mr. Ed Honey.
I promise not to take over a half an hour. But, you know, it's for someone that's lived there their entire life, and this property at one time was farmed by Wayman Gladden. It was farmed by Keith Payne. Arco Lettuce Company farmed a lot of this property back in the day in the 40s and 50s and 60s. And to see it transformed into what it's going to be now is pretty exciting. You know, we started talking about this road with Michael Zipridge, Villages at Tortolitas, at least 10 years ago or more. And at one time they were really getting ready to go, and we thought they would build the road and we would reimburse through impact fees and TPT. That didn't happen, so we built it ourselves. I've always said this should be called Roxanne Ziegler Parkway because occasionally when we have council meetings and we discuss this road for years, and I'm not going to quote Roxanne exactly, but she said, we're building up and we're going to build it now. And everybody's kind of like cringing a little bit in there. And we figured out a way to come up with the money to build this roadway. I'm excited about this. I can tell you stories. Jack Horton, the late Jack Horton, who used to own Napa and stuff like that, used to live over in this neighborhood, the Marana Estates neighborhood. And his wife was pregnant and they were trying to go to the hospital, and the train was stopped on the tracks. They had to get up there, and somehow they got word. The train company actually decoupled the cars enough for him to get his car through to take his wife to the hospital and have a baby. So that's some history about what happens in this neighborhood. This is so exciting. The road is beautiful. Been down it 2 or 3 times. I think it's going to be a tremendous asset, not only to Mandarina and opening up this project, but I call it Morkin and Dorkin. It's Tangerine Shadows and something else. Help me out there. But anyway, I think the entire project from here to Marana Estates, through Adonis and around that way, is going to open pretty quickly. We now have a roadway. We're very quickly going to have wastewater and water over here as well. And it's going to be a great asset for our community. You know, it was done well. It's a beautiful road. It's an asset to our community. It's a safety factor for our community. And I just think it's going to be awesome from now on.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Appreciate that. I don't know that you can say it much better than what the mayor just said. This is a long time coming. And, you know, it's been a long time part of our transportation plan. It's been in the roadway and transportation plan for many years. It was planned to go into place well before even San Lucas got completed. But things happen. You know, things are going really well. Everybody's building. And everybody's excited because this road's going to come along real soon, and then a little thing called a recession comes along, and everything comes to a screeching halt, and the road doesn't get built. And then, you know, everything starts gearing up again, and it looks like it's going to happen, just like the mayor said. You know, we start talking with the developer, says, yeah, we're going to make the road happen, and then a little thing comes along called a pandemic and puts a halt to it. And the mayor is right. It took the will of the council, and I think the word that you were looking for that was missing in that statement from Council Member Ziegler was doggone.
Yes.
Doggone road. We're gonna build that doggone road. Pretty sure. I was sitting in the back. I couldn't hear completely, but pretty sure that was the word that was there. But it took the will of the council to listen to the residents who were very concerned about their safety. And there were a number of occasions, working as a police chief during that time, there were a number of occasions when the train, don't understand it, but they stopped right there at the crossway, and the people of Adonis and Marana Estates and the people of San Lucas couldn't get out. And that's concerning, that's troubling. And so the council made those commitments in 2020, the year of the pandemic, and committed not only the resources financially, but the resources in terms of staff. And then we partnered with some people to make this happen. And one of those people I'm going to introduce now, to come up here, is Bob Anarino, sorry. And Bob's going to come up. Bob is from Somas, and he's going to talk a little bit about their part in this project.
Thanks, Terry, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, and guests. Yeah, on behalf of Somas, we want to thank the town for continuing us as part of the construction team for the design portion of this. I would say before construction occurred and around the first part of 2020, we were looking at 3 separate alignments at one point. So some of you know that. So I think for the first 4 months or so in early 2020, we did 2 complete sets of design plans. And I want to recognize my assistant project manager, Michelle Beaver, because she worked long hours trying to make sure we can get this done because of the necessity of getting the road done. So, we worked really hard, and I want to thank her team and such like that to get this done, and appreciate the flexibility that Keith Brandt had provided for us, because there was a lot of subtleties that the previous developer of this, who was Chad Rodriguez and Mr. Palkowitz, who owned the Mandarina Master Plan Community, and they were tweaking the alignment. So I wanted to bring that up as to how much effort and cooperation we needed with the town to go through 3 separate alignments, and I know we had to work with Terry Clipp and some others to get access. So I'm just gonna end it on Somas's kind of pride of ownership as it relates to the design area in this sector. We started about 11 years ago, and we worked on the San Lucas residential development. And we also take a lot of pride in the widening of Tangerine Road from Dove Mountain to La Cañada. We also were involved with the Tangerine Sky Park, Community Park, and then also the apartments for Encantada at Dove Mountain. And now we've got, the Adonis Road. So there's a lot of pride in what we've been doing in at least this sector. So I just wanted to thank everybody and continue our relationship with the town on future infrastructure. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Chris Lentz with United Engineering Group. All right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Just a little history here. So we were hired by TMR Investors, who was developing the Villages of Tortolita property a couple miles north of here, and so they had hired us to do this road. I think that was part of their development agreement at the time to make this connection and everything else. So by the time we came on board with the project, the right-of-way, the alignment had already been secured and set by the town. And so we kicked off basically the project. I think our contract kicked off in November of 2018. And then we initiated survey, topo, and everything else, had it flown and everything. So we kicked off there. And then I'm just trying to look here. Our first submittal was about March of 2019 when the plans went in. And then after that first submittal, we, I guess, ran into some challenges with kind of the alignment down here and crossing the CAP canal and such. And so at that time, I think we did some shifting in the alignment. And then basically our second submittal was about December 2019, and then we were approved basically January of 2020 is when the project plans were approved and it was ready to go. So our original design plans was all the way from Greer to Tangerine. So as you know, that's about 15,000 linear feet, 2.85 miles. And then once the scope kind of changed and Bob came on board, Our portion changed just to 1.5 miles from Greer down south to the Mandarina border, northern boundary. With that said, I'd like to special thanks to Keith with the town. Mostly worked with him along the whole process, so he's very helpful. And Tom as well, Tom Hall, with doing the construction part of it. As part of the United's team, we had also teamed with CMG Drainage, Clint Glass, to do the offsite drainage and look at some of the crossings and such for this interim road. And then also we partnered with Geotech and Protex to do the geotech and the pavement design and such. Also like to thank my client, TMR, Mike Zipridge, Bill Cleverly, Greg Wolin, and Gary Jones for hiring us to start the project. Other than that's pretty much it. I'm very pleased with the overall construction of it and design, and it looks great. So thanks again.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, Chris makes a really great point. I've actually had the opportunity now to drive up and down this road a few times, a couple of times with the mayor, a couple of times by myself. And it is a beautiful road. So once we get to open it up here today, you're going to see that. And for those of you who don't know, this is Adonis Road. And it's going to continue on through where that parking lot is and go into Tangerine eventually. And there will be a traffic light there probably within the next 18 months, 2 years. Keith, what are we talking? He says 3 years, I say 18 months, man. We'll split the difference, 2 years, 4 months. And this right here is going to be Mandarina Boulevard, and it's going to come right in here to this area and continue on where a bunch of houses are going to go. So it's a beautiful project. You heard these gentlemen talking about all the people that are involved and have been involved. It's a huge team effort. It's a major lift to make something like this happen. So, my appreciation to you gentlemen, to our staff, Keith, Tom, the rest of the crew that were involved. And also the people that were actually responsible for putting the pavement down and making it look pretty, and that's exactly what it is. And so Granite Construction and Austin Atterbury is here on behalf of Granite Construction to say a few words as well. So Austin, if you could come up.
Morning everybody, Austin Atterbury, project manager with Granite Construction. So as a native to Marana, I'm always excited to be involved in delivering another roadway to our community. And of course, projects like these could not happen without a team. And that team, includes Keith Brand, Brian Frazier, Tom Hool, Butch Jacobs, as well as on our end, our project sponsor, pre-construction manager, Andrew Rogers, our project engineer, Jake Robertson. So when we get all these people together, right, it forms a team. And it takes a great team like that to build an amazing project, right? And the projects flow smoothly, and they're truly enjoyable day in and day out. So we look forward to having Adonis Road, Mandarina Boulevard, because they're a foundation, right? They're a foundation for building a new community in the town, and that's exciting. It's exciting to be involved with and to be a part of. So with that said, on behalf of Granite Construction, I'd like to express our gratitude and appreciation to the town for giving us this opportunity to be involved in another successful project, and we look forward for what the future brings and additional projects. So thank you all, appreciate it.
Thank you, Austin. I'm a Marana boy. You didn't tell me that. That's neat. Awesome. So that is the grand opening ceremony. We have some awesome Marana cookies over there. If you don't like cookies, my understanding is that the mayor here takes them home and he puts them in the freezer for his grandchildren when they show up. So that's always an option as well. We got some waters, we got some cookies over there. Please feel free. We're going to do the actual ribbon cutting portion right now. So Monique, are you going to walk us through that? What do we need to do?